I'm curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you? Here's one of mine. I remember getting into an argument with an American over Discord about how many states they have. He was convinced that America had 40. Keep in mind, he's American. They have 50.
How much time you got, motherfucker? I could do this shit all day. I'm going to Florida. Oh, really? Are you driving? Are you flying? I drove and it took me 17 hours. 17 hours? How many days is that?
Not even a day.
I want to visit Europe. Oh, really? What countries are you visiting? Oh, you know, the basics. No, I don't know. There's no tutorial to visiting countries. Do you mean Italy, France, Spain, Portugal? Stop it. Portugal's not in Europe. It is. However, let's pull up a map. That way we know what countries you would like to visit. Okay, now looking at this map, where would you go? I would go to the Netherlands because it's next to Amsterdam. It is the capital city of the Netherlands. We are looking at a map, god damn it!
Oh, I guess it's my turn now. I've heard the loudest. Wait. I've heard a lot of so much ridiculous things from Americans that when I said it, it was like, you don't like Americans? How can I? And it's actually even the entitlement that comes with their ignorance and the proudfulness that comes with it as well. I remember hearing the condescending tone in the way this American talked to me. So he, by the way, an African American. He felt like he was doing me a service, a pleasure of actually even knowing him. He was like to me, thinking basically I was going to take his offer. He really did not expect me to decline. He felt like the money, as an African, I'm a South African, by the way, if you did not know. So he does not know that I know that he's a refugee, an economic refugee from the States to Africa. So I did not even say that to him, but I did tell him the most. But let's start from the conversation because I feel like I'm blabbing and I'm not even getting to the point. It's going to make this whole thing confusing. So first, this American, I'm just going to put it blunt as it is. He texted me on Tinder, you know. He's telling me that he's coming to South Africa. In fact, he did not really greet me. He just went to the straight point, according to him. In fact, he did greet me, like unfriend me on, I don't know what, he removed me on Tinder. So he said something like, hey, I'm coming to South Africa for 2 weeks and I would like to pay to sleep with you. There was nothing in my profile that says, I did not even show boobs. It's just my face. You know, I just showed my face and me in a dress, and then I don't know, something about him probably gave him prostitutes, I guess. I'm not even a seller, but for him to even assume that was weird. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it further. So I'm taking this, I'm bored. Basically, I'm bored. I'm pretending to be this character that he wants me to be. And I'm flirting with him there and there. This way I smell the condescending tone. And I was like, I've had clients. I've never had clients. I was like, I've had clients, who fall in love with me. Oh, what if we sleep together and you fall in love with me? This is me being dummy. And he's like, I'm not going to fall in love with you. I just want to sleep with you. It's only for an hour. Yeah. And I'm just like, and then he kept on doing this kind of things, like where I was trying to talk to him, like he would pretend like he knows more than me, my country, because of a Google search that he did. And he would just do small things that I could tell. Like I could tell like his behavior is off. Like this guy really thinks he's the it.com and he's not even it too. But anyways, I digest. Let me just continue with the story. So one day I'm bored with this behavior and I can see like I really want to get rid of this guy. Like his attitude is really stinking at this point and I just want him to just go away from me. Like he should just try somebody else. And besides, I'm not even a prostitute, so I work for my money. I mean, even this YouTube pays me, so yeah. So I'm like sending him a message and I'm like, my services is 5,000 to 10,000. And then he sent me a message on Tinder. It's like, yeah, I sent you a message on your numbers. Basically, he told me that that is too much, that the price is really too much. You're doing way too much. And you're inflating the situation, like you really hyping the prices unnecessary. I'm giving you like 1,500. That's like $100, by the way. It's $100. That's it. It's like I'm paying your transport. That's a lot of money, and I'm being very generous. Did I tell you that I'm working? Yeah, I'm working. What is $100 to me? 1.5. That's 1.5 in my currency. That's not even my rent money, by the way. So, yeah. He's thinking he's doing me a favor. That's a lot of money to me. I must be grateful that I must sleep with him for 1.5. I'm like, dude, even if I wanted to do this, gynecologist, the body maintains itself, and a whole lot of things. Like even my parents, I can just call my mom, and my mom can just send me 2,000. Without me even having to sleep with a man, and I have to sleep with you for 1.5. Like really, like he thought he was doing something. I really had to put him in his place. Like I was done with him. Like this is the types of men in Africa that come here and get really ripped off because the attitude really stinks. It really stinks. But yeah, that man was blocked. Hey, I was like, offer declined. I was never gonna do it anyway, so I was like, bye. I don't know what I would have done if he said 10,000. I don't know what I would have done.
Canadian here. Right after I moved to America, I went to the Social Security office so that I could apply for a Social Security number so that I could work in America. I went up to the little kiosk and I punched in that I was applying for my very first Social Security number. And the man who was working there said, "Excuse me, ma'am, you're going to want to punch in that you're applying for a replacement card, not a new number." And I said, "No, sir, I don't have a Social Security number. I am applying for the first time." And he said, "And you're an American?"
No.
And I said, "No, sir, I actually just moved here from Canada just a couple of weeks ago." And he said this. "Ma'am, I have to say, your English is amazing." Yeah.
I don't think Americans realize how stupid the rest of the world thinks we are. And I can kind of see why. So I've been bopping around Italy for a few months, and the amount of times that I have seen a group of Americans yell at someone or get mad at someone for the simplest thing when it's their fault is ridiculous. A few examples would be when I've been in restaurants and there's clear signs that are like, "Please stand here, wait here, pay here," things like that with like clear instructions, and Americans do the wrong thing, and then they start yelling at the wait staff when it's 100% their fault. And I used to think people were just pretending. Also, look, like Italian street art is beautiful. I used to think people were kind of exaggerating when they said how stupid Americans seemed in other countries. But now that I'm paying attention and focusing on it firsthand, I see it and I'm like, oh, this is how they view us all the time, and that completely makes sense. But yeah, so as one American to any others, when you guys are traveling, please don't be stupid and give us a bad name because it's already pretty bad as it is.
Hi, Canadian here. Before I get started, just for reference, the US is here and we are right there. Okay? I'm going to try to go in order from least ridiculous to most ridiculous, so stay tuned until the end. Firstly, I've been asked numerous times if you need a passport to enter Canada. Like we're not a whole ass other country. I've been asked if we ride polar bears, typical, if we have roads, if we have cars, if we go to school. These are serious questions, by the way, like they were being serious. But the worst one was when I went to Ohio to coach a basketball camp, and I was talking to one of the coaches. He was the coach of a JUCO, okay? Black man in his 40s. And he said to me, "Wow, I didn't know they had black people in Canada." I obviously thought he was kidding, but then he said, "Wow, does that mean you're like one of the only black people over there? Like, did you move there from the States? You're American, right? You have to be."
Okay, middle of August, 90 degrees out, Niagara Falls, Ontario, working as a server. A family comes in and they are freaking pissed. because there's no snow. They literally traveled with all of their snow gear, their skis, their snowboards. Now keep in mind, you can see Niagara Falls, New York, right across the gorge from Niagara Falls, Ontario. And they're like, where is all the snow? We came here to ski. And I'm like, ma'am, it's the middle of August. You're not going to find any snow. It's the summertime, just like it is across the water and the bridge in New York. They're like, well, where are we going to find this snow? We need to know. And I'm like, I don't know, like none of it. It's August. Did they really think that when they crossed the bridge, there was going to be a magic wall of snow?
I'm American, but I gotta take this L. So freshman year of college, my friends and I go up to Canada to have a fun weekend, whatever. We're partying, having fun. We don't sleep at all, right? We get to the border. I'm in the backseat, knocked, slumped out. Border Patrol knocks on the window. He's asking everyone questions. He comes to me, looks at my passport. Sir, what's your nationality? I go, Luis Barbosa. He goes, no, sir, what's your nationality? I go, Haitian, Dominican, or Puerto Rican. Choose whichever one. Everyone in the car staring at me like, bro, what are you saying right now? You're about to get us arrested. I'm like, what am I saying wrong, right? Everyone's looking at me. So the Border Patrol tries to dumb it down for me. He goes, sir, where are you from? I go, New York City. He goes, okay, so what's your nationality? So now everyone's staring at me and I'm getting tight. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. He goes, yeah, you're American. Go right through. Yo, son, thank God we wasn't coming back from Mexico.
So first of all, I think I could probably make an entire series on this because I've been in America for a while and I've heard some pretty crazy things. When I went to high school, I went to boarding school in Utah, and on the first day we were in class and the teacher came in and went through roll, and as the teacher was going through roll, they told us that if you come from a country where English is not your first language, I'm going to write your name down and you're not going to get graded as harshly because we don't think it's fair. I'm thinking, wow, that's like really good for them, especially a couple of these students. They're struggling to speak English in the time that I've met them and talking to them. So he gets to me finally on the roll and he says, yeah, Bailey. I said, yes, here. I'm from Australia. And he goes, Australia. And he turns around and writes my name down. I'm thinking, what's going on? Everyone starts kind of talking around. I'm like, shut up. I went in with a 2.9 GPA my junior year. I graduated with a 4.0.
I already said this before, but I'm going to say it again because some people could be so ignorant and stupid. So I went to college in the States and this American asked me where I'm from. So I told him I'm from Korea, but my family resides in the Philippines. And this dude had the audacity to ask me if people in the Philippines eat mangoes and bananas every day and do they live in a hut or a shack. And this is exactly what I told him, word by word. And I said, bro, you do know that's fucking racist, right? And the guy's like, how is that racist? And I asked him the same question and I said, hey, I heard Americans love to shoot people, especially in schools. Is that true? And he's like, that's racist. It's so ironic that US have one of the best universities in the world, but some people can be so extremely stupid